Prabhupada is here. If anybody can see, Prabhupada is at the front, and he's the centre of this great occasion. So we're going to do Guru Puja offering to him.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Kevala Bhakti Sadma Sri Guru Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma charane rate se uttama gati. He prasade pure sarva asa. He prasade pure sarva asa. चक्षुदान दिलो दे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो दे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते आवे जावे न सोयाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते आवे जावे न सोयाते वेद गाय हर चरित वेद गाय हर चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु लोकना लोकेर जीवाना लोकना लोकेर जीवाना महाप्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पद छाया महाप्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पद छाया देवया सुतु त्रिभुवना देवया सुतु त्रिभुवना Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Joyo Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Vallabha ki, Shri Gauranga ki, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki! All right, Prabhu, this is the beginning. Prabhu, this is the beginning of the night. A very special night in Melbourne's history. I'd like you to all settle down, grab your seats. There's some nice snacks on the table. Please help yourself. I'd like to welcome you all here for coming tonight. Thank you all very much. We'd like to welcome His Holiness Ramai Swami, our GBC, and also Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj for also being here on this special occasion. Thank you both for coming. Jai Maharajas. So this is the 50th anniversary fundraising dinner for the Melbourne Temple Kitchen Redevelopment Project. Any of you that have been to the temple recently have seen that the work has begun. It has actually begun. It's happening. Kilda! And I'd like to first ask His Holiness Ramai Swami if he'd like to come up and say a few words to the congregation. Ramai Swami, Kilda!
Hare Krishna. Sri Sri Radha Ballabha Bhagwan ki, Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadadevi ki, Sri Sri Gauranitai ki, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. So thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you here tonight. I flew specially when I was invited by Aniruddha just a week or so ago. I rearranged my schedule and I've just come straight from the airport to here. So I'm very thrilled to be here. And you know, the project, the kitchen project, has been in the planning stages for some years. And now, as most of you have seen, they are beginning the work. And it's a very, very important project. I was here in 1974 when we bought the temple, the building, and the kitchen. We renovated everything nicely and we made the kitchen nice. But apart from the equipment and some other things like that, nothing really has changed at all as far as the kitchen. It's been the same, more or less the same kitchen for the last more than 40 years. For 42 years it's been the same kitchen. So now we're in need of an upgrade. So I'd just like to say that, you know, kitchen, as far as a temple is concerned, means a prasadam and prasadam distribution. So we know that the prasadam and prasadam distribution is a very important integral part of the Krishna consciousness movement, very much emphasized by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Prabhupada first went overseas, even on the ship, there was the Janmashtami. You may remember reading in the Rasamrita that he cooked a Janmashtami feast, offered it to the Lord, and distributed amongst to the captain and his wife and to the crew of the ship. So Prabhupada himself was very aware of the powerful potency of Krishna Prasad. The Prasadam is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We offer it, and actually Krishna becomes that offering, and he becomes the Prasadam. So right from the very beginning on the boat, and then going to America, when Prabhupada first started in the storefront, there weren't many who came. There was just some apple or something like that, or some orange, but Prabhupada very carefully offered that fruit, and he cut it, and he personally distributed the prasadam to all those who came. Later on, of course, as the resources and more devotees came, they were able to cook more elaborate feasts and have nice prasadam. And Prabhupada himself would cook, and Prabhupada himself would serve. And so, as we know, this prasadam distribution is very, very integral, going right back, you know, to, you know, we have the story of Narad Muni. Narad Muni in his former life was the son of the maidservant, and he got the association of the great sadhus, and was able to take the remnants of their prasadam. So just by that association, and just by taking the remnants of their prasadam, he became the great Narada Muni. And of course, in more recent times, in the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some of you may have read in Chaitanya Charitamrita the story of when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Jagannath Puri. Every year the devotees would go from Bengal to visit him at Jagannath Puri, usually around this time and around the time of the Rath Yatra festival. They would go every year. There was a big party, sometimes hundreds of devotees. And this was generally organised by Shivananda Sen and his assistants, and they would go and travel together like that. So one story is that one time one dog followed the party. And Shivananda Sen, being such a great devotee, thought that here's another one who wants to go and see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he encouraged the dog to travel with the party. Normally, especially in India, you wouldn't encourage any dog or anything like that. You would shoo away the dog. But Shivananda Sen, being so advanced devotee, encouraged the dog. And not only that, but at the time of Prasadam, Shivananda Sen would give part of his rice Prasadam to the dog every evening and every lunchtime and everything like that. But one time when Shivananda Sen was caught up, preoccupied with some other activity, he told his servant to make sure that the dog gets the rice prasadam. And when he came back at the end of the day, he asked his servant, did you give because he didn't see the dog. And he said, where's the dog? Oh, we don't know. Did you give him his rice prasadam? Oh no, I forgot. We forgot to give him his rice prasadam. So Shivananda Sen became so disturbed that he sent out 10 men in all the directions to look for the dog, but they couldn't find the dog. So then the party just went on to Jagannath Puri, and they met up with Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya took them to the Jagannath Mandir, and then at the time of the Lord's offering, the prasadam came, and Lord Chaitanya himself was distributing the prasadam, and then all of a sudden everyone saw that same dog that they had lost, as all of a sudden in the Jagannath temple, and Lord Chaitanya was feeding the dog the green coconut pulp, and throwing the dog the green coconut pulp, the prasadam from Lord Jagannath. And he was saying to the dog, chant Krishna, chant Krishna. So then the dog started chanting, Krishna, 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 and taking the prasad from the hand of Mahaprabhu. So the next day they didn't see that dog, but everyone understood that dog actually was liberated by eating the prasadam offered by the hand of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He went back home, back to Godhead, just by the prasadam from the hand of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the prasadam is such a big thing here in Melbourne. We've been distributing prasadam for so many years. When Prabhupada came himself here, he was very encouraged to see the prasadam distribution. One time we told him of how much prasadam we're distributing in Melbourne, and actually he said to us, he said, your country will be conquered by prasadam. He said that, I always remember that. Your country will be conquered by the prasadam. So we took that very seriously. And since that time now, in this country, we have a lot of prasadam restaurants. Temples have their restaurants. There's, I think, at least 12 prasadam restaurants in this country, plus the devotees have their prasadam restaurants. Maybe there's up to 20 prasadam restaurants in this country, which is great. And then we have our Food for Life prasadam distribution, and we have some programs at the universities where they have the vegetarian club or some other club like that, where the devotees distribute prasadam. And so Prabhupada was very concerned that this prasadam distribution go on in a very grand way. And I remember being with him many times in his room here at the temple, and any guest that came, he would speak to them, and he would always insist that before they left, that the devotees bring some prasadam and offer to the guests, whether it was fruit or anything they wanted. Make sure he gets, I personally heard, make sure he gets prasadam. So we know that no sacrifice or no activity is complete without, of course, chanting and sacrifice and prasadam distribution. So here in Melbourne, we have our crossways, we have our gopals, we have so much prasadam distribution going on from the temple. But the kitchen facility has been serving us well, but now we need to increase. So now we have this project to build a big grand kitchen. I've been to some of the Hare Krishna kitchens around the world, in India and other countries. I just came from New Zealand a little while ago, Auckland Temple, New Varshan temple has a very grand kitchen. When they built their new temple there, they made a very, very big kitchen, and it's always full with devotees preparing the preparations and offering to their Lordship Sri Sri Radhagiri Hare. So it is a very, very important aspect of Krishna consciousness. It cannot be emphasized, cannot be overemphasized. It's very, very important. So we need this facility to give the mercy to the people in the form of wonderful Krishna prasadam. So thank you very much for coming tonight and participating and helping us in building up this very, very important kitchen project here at the Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramai Swami. That was really inspiring. Next, I'd like to call up His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita to come up and say a few words, if you'd like.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I feel very happy to be amongst all of you this evening for this special program to kickstart the kitchen project for Radha Vallabha's Mandir. As His Holiness Ramai Swami has so eloquently expressed, the importance of prasadam in the Krishna consciousness movement cannot be overestimated. One time, Srila Prabhupada called our movement as the kitchen religion, considering the importance that prasadam had for transforming the lives of devotees and also of the people at large. He often said that our most powerful weapons for the transformation of the hearts of the people in general were, number one, the chanting of the holy names congregationally, and secondly, the distribution of Krishna prasadam. Krishna prasadam is not ordinary food. It's food that is offered to the Supreme Lord with love and devotion, and which the Lord accepts with happiness because it is offered with devotion. We have all heard and recited many times a very famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upaharitam ashnami prayatatmanaha, wherein Lord Krishna says that if someone offers to me a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or some water with devotion, I accept it. The word ashnami means to eat, literally. So one of our acharyas, who has written many commentaries, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, says that it's interesting that Krishna should use the word ashnami, meaning I eat, in relation to flowers and leaves. For fruit, it's understandable that you eat it. But what about a flower? We would think that if we offered a flower to Krishna, he would smell it and be happy. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Krishna becomes so intoxicated with love when he accepts the loving offering of his devotees, whatever it may be, a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or even water, that he actually accepts it, he actually eats it. So if you offer a flower to Krishna with love, Krishna will actually eat it. He says, Ashnami, I will eat. But of course, the miraculous process of Krishna's acceptance of the things we offer him is that he still leaves behind the remnants, which we call prasadam. Prasadam literally means mercy. There is this little episode from the Mahabharata which I would like to cite briefly. As you know, the battle between the Kauravas and the Pandavas was about to happen, and Lord Krishna was trying his best to avert such a thing, at least externally. As a last-ditch effort, he ventured to Hastinapur as an emissary of the Pandavas to try to buy peace. Duryodhana, the eldest of the Kauravas, understood that Krishna was coming. And cunning as he was, he hatched some kind of a plot to try to win over Krishna on his side, knowing fully well how dependent the Pandavas were on Krishna, and that if Krishna switched sides, the Kauravas would win the battle without lifting a weapon, because without Krishna the Pandavas would be zero. But Krishna, of course, only seeks the devotion that is made in these offerings. But he did not like the offerings of Duryodhana because they were not offered with devotion. So he skipped Duryodhana's feast and hospitality, and he went straight to Vidura's house. At Vidura's house, Vidura was not home. His wife was at home, and she was taken aback to see Krishna arriving at her door unannounced. She was flustered. She didn't even properly welcome Krishna. Krishna helped himself and sat down. And then Krishna says, aren't you going to give me something to eat? I'm a guest. And then she said, yes, yes. And she was all flustered, and she had some bananas around. And in her excitement, as she was peeling the bananas, she offered the peels to Krishna, and she threw away the bananas. And Krishna was eating those peels. And as that merry exchange was going on, Vidura came into the house and was aghast. And he said, what are you doing? Don't you see? You're offering Krishna the peels of the bananas. And both Vidura's wife and Krishna realized what was going on. Otherwise, the exchange of devotion was so powerfully going on that neither Vidura's wife nor Krishna actually understood that they were eating or offering peels of the bananas. This is the strength of devotion, that Krishna becomes completely captivated and intoxicated by that offering, or, precisely speaking, not that offering itself, but the devotion that goes into that offering. So when we offer food to Lord Krishna, it is done with devotion by the devotees. It's cooked with devotion, it is offered to Krishna with devotion, and it is served with devotion. Therefore, it becomes not just delicious, but also extremely potent to change the hearts of people. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada popularized the distribution of prasadam as a means of revolution. But not a revolution of guns and bullets and bombs and so on, but a revolution of the change of heart of people through the chanting of the holy names and distribution of prasadam. The kitchen at Sri Radha Vallabha's temple has been doing a magnificent job for so many years. As Maharaj mentioned, 42 years and going strong. But nevertheless, the needs of the prasadam distribution, the expanding preaching, the growing number of devotees demands that we have a better facility for this revolutionary activity. So I'm very glad that work has now begun on a new kitchen. And also I'm very pleased to hear of the large sum of money that I believe the government has offered to the temple as a gesture of appreciation for the good work that the temple has been doing. Under the guidance of our GBCs, His Holiness Ramai Swami, His Holiness Devamrita Swami, and of course our long-standing temple president Aniruddha Prabhu and his team of devotees and all of you, because of whom this temple is flourishing. And it gives me great pleasure to be here amongst all of you on this day. And I can only urge you to please participate in this program, to make this kitchen happen, to make this a reality. Let us all become revolutionaries, not by lifting our guns and firing bullets, but firing bullets of another kind. Srila Prabhupada called the gulab jamuns in the old days in New York as ISKCON bullets, because they had the capacity to destroy the material life of anyone who partook of them. So I hope and pray that this kitchen will soon be established and will continue to help Srila Prabhupada's mission grow and flourish here in Melbourne. And my earnest appeal to everybody assembled here to please participate and make your offerings generously so that Srila Prabhupada and Sri Radha Vallabha may be pleased. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bhakti Maharaj. Thank you very much for that. Now we're going to call on Aniruddha Prabhu, the temple president here of Melbourne, just to explain a little bit as to how the kitchen is progressing. And he'll have a slideshow which is clearly pointing out exactly the progress that's being made and how we're structuring the kitchen for all of you. So I can call on Aniruddha Prabhu.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakchurun Militam Jena Tasmaye Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Jena Putale Svayam Rupa Kada Mahiyam Dadati Svapadantikam Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lankayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam. So, welcome everybody. Thanks to Ramai Swami and Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj for gracing us with, well, we really disturbed both of their schedules without much notice, but thanks for being so gracious to accept our invitation. As we've just heard, our kitchen is a well-worn community resource. Prabhupada called the Melbourne temple the Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, but sometimes it could be also described as the Melbourne Mahaprashadam Mandir. Thousands and thousands and thousands of meals have been distributed out of our kitchen, and it is a very popular, well-attended, well-patronised facility. And of course, as has been described, it's really worn out and tired. At the moment, we distribute about 5,250 meals a week. Our equipment is out of date, worn out and out of date. It's difficult to use. It takes a long time to cook anything. It's not user-friendly. In fact, it could almost be described as being unsafe. it wastes energy. The systems that we're using at the moment for cooking meals are terribly inefficient. At the moment we're cooking in large pots. You put the gas underneath and it takes a long time just to get to the top. The heat to get to the top just takes a long time. There are much more efficient ways of doing things. We can't expand our services at the moment. We're pretty much at the max as far as prasadam distribution goes in the temple. So we've got an idea. A much, much better facility. We want to bring Krishna's kitchen into the 21st century. So you can see here, we've got fryers, we've got steam kettles. Look at the size of those things. Brat pans, combi ovens. These items are much more efficient, much more ergonomic, easier to use, and they're designed to cook very, very quickly. So with this new facility, we can increase our output to 21,000 meals a week. So that might seem like a lot, but at the moment we're doing close to 750 meals per day. That's 5,250 a week. We'll be able to increase our production by 4 times with the new facility, which would be 21,000 meals per week. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, we won't do it with our current facilities, but the plan is to increase the number of crossways, potentially also the number of gopals, so that we'll be able to distribute the prasadam in more locations. This current kitchen could service another 3 to 4 crossways facilities. Probably not to the capacity that we're achieving in a place like Crossways in the city, where we've got a huge audience, but still we could substantially increase our distribution through more outlets. So this works out to be about 1.1 million meals in a year, which is, a sizable amount, and that means we'll be closer to fulfilling Prabhupada's desire to see, or to let every hungry man of Melbourne come and eat. That was Prabhupada's. He was talking to the human services, the social services minister, and he was asking Prabhupada, what happens if somebody comes to steal from you? Would you still feed them? And Prabhupada said, yes, why not? Why not? Let every hungry man of Melbourne come and eat. And as Maharaj was saying, this prasadam distribution program it's a major plank in Prabhupada's platform of distributing Krishna consciousness. When Prabhupada was communicating with Sally Agarwal after he'd left Butler, Pennsylvania, he was encouraging her to open up a restaurant. And he said, I'll give you the recipes. I'll tell you what to cook. And we see, as Prabhupada, as Ramai Swami mentioned, in 26 Second Avenue, the Sunday Love Feast was one of Prabhupada's initiatives for spreading Krishna consciousness. So it's not an add-on, it's not something additional, but rather it's integral to Prabhupada's vision for influencing society. Australia has such a influence ISKCON has such an influence in Australia, in Australian culture. When young Australian boys and girls go overseas, one of the first things they look for in a city that they go to is a Hare Krishna restaurant. My nephew, who's currently travelling in the UK and Scotland, when he arrived in Ireland and he went to Belfast, is Pragoshin Belfast or Dublin? Dublin. When they arrived in Dublin, the first thing they did was look for a vegetarian restaurant. And have a guess where they ended up. Govinda's, right? Govinda's. And he sent me a message on Facebook. Hi, Bhakti Andy. Uncle Andy. We were looking for a vegetarian restaurant. Have a guess where we ended up? Govinda's. And Pragosh tells me he meets a lot of Australians, young Australians, who are travelling overseas. And they tell him how they go to Gopal's in Melbourne, they go to Govinda's in Sydney, they go to Govinda's in Brisbane, and how relieved they are to find a Govinda's in Dublin. So, prasadam distribution, we are the kitchen religion. We want to help Srila Prabhupada fulfil his desire that every hungry man of Melbourne come and eat. So, this is going to be our offering to Srila Prabhupada for the 50th, not the only offering, but this is the substantial offering that we'd like to make to Srila Prabhupada for the 50th anniversary of ISKCON. We want to establish a dynamic ISKCON that has an influence in Melbourne. We already have an influence, and we know in good part that's because of prasadam distribution. The government's giving us $500,000 on the strength of our reputation, and that reputation in good part rests on all of the food, all of the prasadam distribution that we've done over the last 40 years. It's going to give us a strong economic foundation. About 5-6 years ago, I did a little exercise with Bishwajit. One of his talents is helping companies work out their strategic direction. And we were looking at ways to increase income. Devotees have a desire to open up another temple, they want to open schools, whatever. But in order to do that, we need a strong financial base upon which to build our services and offerings. And so having a kitchen that can then support 3 or 4 restaurants, and we know that restaurants are a good money spinner, shall we say. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said to me, I remember we were driving over the Bhakti Bridge, and he said to me, your temple wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Crossways. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was a very astute character. He knew how temples run. And he was right. Without Crossways, it's our cash cow. And it keeps the economy of the temple running on a day-to-day basis. So 3 or 4 more Crossways gives us the opportunity to provide the cash flow that's needed to drive some of the enterprising projects that the devotees have in mind for the future. We'll save money with this new kitchen. We'll use less electricity, less gas, it'll be quicker, less effort. Things will cook quicker, so the cooks won't have to be stirring pots for 2 or 3 hours like they do at the moment. And it'll be a safer work environment. And we'll get better quality. We're already getting excellent quality prasadam, but it'll be even better. Okay. So here's a little breakdown of the costs. The majority of the cost of this project will be in the construction of the building, then the fit out, the equipment. We've got plans to shift the dining hall from upstairs down into what's now the theatre and move the theatre upstairs over the temple. We've got landscaping and other works that need to be done. There's professional fees. You can see here, down here, smaller amount, slight preparation here, and then our administration costs. all up, our total cost for this project will be $2.5 million. The construction up here is 1.1 or nearly 1.2 million. The equipment, 802,000. The Prasadam Hall and Theatre relocation, this is just an estimate, 350,000. We've already spent 230,000. We need to put in a new hand wash facility at the back of the, what's the paraphernalia room? That's going to cost us about 25,000. So all up, 2,550,000. Now, this looks like a lot of money, right? So people have asked me, how did you arrive at those figures? We got 3 contractors to give us quotes for the construction of the building. 2 of them came in at around about the same amount, this 1.1 million figure. The other builder came in at about 1.5 million, so he was a lot more. He didn't give very much detail in his quote. It was more or less a throwaway quote. The other 2 gave us line-by-line details as to what they would do in the construction. Our project manager, who oversaw the tendering process, chose the builder who gave us a finer detail in the line-by-line items. So, when a builder gives a quotation for such a large project, they can't just give you one figure. Well, they can try, but a good quotation and a good builder will give you the line-by-line items. So we chose of the 2 that gave us around about the same quote. So we knew we were in the ballpark in terms of the cost, but we chose the builder who gave us the most detail in terms of the costing of the whole project. And we also got on well with those gentlemen. So we chose them because of, they were a good fit for us and they gave us the most detail. Same with the kitchen equipment. Now, I'll just give you some examples here. The chapati making machine, we're looking at a chapati making machine that can make 900 chapatis in an hour. Pretty far out. I could show you a video, but it'll take up too much time. There's $100,000, poof, just gone like that on the chapati making machine. Brat pans, $80,000. Steam kettles, another $80,000. Cool rooms, 2 cool rooms, $32,000. The exhaust canopies, stainless steel, $129,000. Mobile bins for storing of flour and the like, rice. 10 of those at $1,000 each, $10,000. Fryers, $30,000. Ovens, $67,000. So I think that lot there comes to around about $528,000. So you can see that the equipment, we chose the equipment based on the recommendations of our kitchen consultant. The devotees sat down with him for a number of months to work out how we were going to manage and organise the kitchen. First of all, he said, what's your output? So we said, so many litres of this, so many litres of that, so many litres of another thing. Based on our output, then it was determined what equipment we would need. And we didn't choose the cheapest, but we went for quality that would survive. Bhakti's trying to wind me up. Good luck. Okay, so we need your help, would you believe? We have got $500,000 from the state government, and we want to finish this project off this year. Before we can renovate the DD kitchen, which is what the main kitchen now is going to be the DD kitchen. What is the DD kitchen now will become a facility for washing up, well, for storing and washing plates. We're going to move to stainless steel plates. we can save about $40,000 a year by not using paper plates. So we're going to shift all of our prasadam distribution to stainless steel. That'll be stored and washed in what's now the deity kitchen, and the meals will be served in what's now the theatre and the boga room. We're going to be knocking walls out and enlarging that area. We'll have another 10 square metres of serving space, more than we've got at the moment. So the plan is to have the new kitchen at the back finished by December. Then we can work on the deity kitchen and the other facilities. And we need to raise the funds required to get that job finished by the end of the year. So we're looking forward to your support and assistance. You can contribute yourself, and encourage others. We know that our members are very generous and are enthusiastic to support the temple, but we're going to need probably more than your support. So we'd like you to also encourage your friends and your associates to help us build the temple. So I'm going to hand this over to Bhakti. I'll leave this slide up there.
So the target that we've set, that we're hoping we will be able to raise, is a measly $800,000 tonight. That's the target that we're setting, 800,000. So we're asking if there is a person here tonight that would like to sponsor $800,000 right here and now, then we can cut out the small talk, straight away get into prasadam, maybe the Maharajas will lead some more kirtan, and we can all go home and be happy. What do you think? That'd be a good idea? Any takers? If not, then let's have some fun. There we go, the trumpets are blowing. There's been some interesting things that have been mentioned. Aniruddha's explaining how we're progressing and how this kitchen will be built. We have to think of this as something that is going to take us into the future. This is something that we're building not just for us, not even for our children, but for our children's children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, that they can also use this wonderful facility that we have here in Melbourne Temple. So we're going to ask now for you to be generous, and we're going to go table by table, asking those devotees at different tables if they would like to make a contribution to this most important event. As you can see here, there's our target today is $800,000. We have our barometer, and as the donations come in, as the sponsorship comes in, you will see this thermometer going forward to reach our target. My friend Ojasvi was going to actually say a few words just in regards to the tax benefit that there is in this actual sponsorship. So Ojasvi, could you quickly come up and just explain to the congregation how beneficial it is for them to actually make a donation and the benefits thereof?
Thank you. So Hare Krishna everyone. I'm just going to give a 30-second glimpse of how we can do a pledge based on the tax donation. So as we know that this pledge is a tax deductible, so whatever we contribute, we can claim it back at the end of the financial year. So Prabhu, can you put the next slide? All right, so that's the tax bracket which most of us are in. So 19%, 32%, 37%, and some of us and 47%. So whatever we donate, we can claim it back at the end of the financial year straight from the ATO. Prabhu, can you switch the slide, Prabhu? So I'll just give a couple of examples. So if someone chooses to donate $50,000 over a span of 3 financial years, say $15,000 this year, $20,000 next year, and $15,000 a year after. So it has before tax and after tax brackets. So if someone chooses to donate $50,000 and who is at the 37% tax bracket, at the end of 3 years, they're just donating $36,500. And if someone chooses to donate $10,000, so it's $2,000, at the end of the 3 years, it just equates to $7,300 at 37%, or at 32.5%, it's $7,750. So if you can donate something before 30th of June, before December this year, and next Janmashtami, that is 3 financial years. Okay? And all the other questions, we can ask Shashi Prabhu, he's an accountant over here. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, on this table, I think Jagannath Ram is on the table. Is that correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Jagannath, could you say a few words, Prabhu? Just use the microphone. Why it's so important that people contribute to this worthwhile fund. Jagannath Ram is one of our leaders here in Melbourne Temple and a great example, so I'd like you to say a few words.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's very important for us to scale up our operations from this stage. Obviously, Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir is an example. Personally, myself and Emuna Lila, before coming to Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, we have been to so many temples. All of them are glorious temples, but there is something very special about our temple. In terms of the quality of cultivation that happens, Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, I'm sure not only me, but everyone will certainly subscribe to this view that we have been one of the best. Now it's important for us to scale up in terms of volumes as well, and for that this particular project of temple kitchen expansion is very crucial to that strategy. So certainly we would also like to contribute, and we would also like to do whatever that is possible in terms of speaking to as many people as we could to do our little bit in terms of contributing to this. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Jagannath Ram. Hari Bol, Prabhu. Okay, now we're going to just have a few words from Jai Sachi.
Hare Krishna. One of the desires of Srila Prabhupada, especially for Melbourne Temple, was to distribute free prasadam. And if you want to actually go back to home quickly, the best way is to actually please the devotee. And there's no better devotee than Srila Prabhupada. So if you can fulfill, give. Krishna does not see how much you have given. Krishna sees how much you have kept in your pocket.
Haribol.
We work so hard doing all the karmi stuff, This is today's one opportunity for you to purify your money and purify your service. Give with the open heart. This temple, one of the greatest things about Melbourne Temple is actually distribution of prasadam. We actually distribute millions of plates of prasadam. And this temple, this kitchen will at least run for another 50 years. If you like investment, the best way to investment is where you can continue to get returns. You invest today in this kitchen, you're going to continue to get benefit. Every time a plate of prasadam will be served, Krishna will know that you have been part of this. So this is the opportunity. I'm getting old. I've been cooking for quite a while. If we build a new kitchen, then I can hand it over to the new generation.
Haribol.
Haribol. So please give as much as you can. I know Prabhupada is here. He's looking at who is giving, how much you are giving. And what Krishna likes about Radharani, who is the best devotee of all, is two things. One is her dancing, and the other one is her cooking. This kitchen is Radharani's cooking. We are just her assistants. So today you have an opportunity to do something where you can please Radharani and hence please Prabhupada and also Krishna. So do your best. Don't see how much you see you're keeping it. Money gonna come and it's gonna go. If you don't give it to us, you're gonna give it to somebody else. So today is an opportunity. Before you give it to anybody else, give it to Prabhupada.
Jai Sachi is our major feast cook. At the moment, he's limiting to only cooking for 1,000 people at a time. So we want to help him out so that he can cook for many, many more. And he's getting a bit old, so he needs needs all the help he can get.
Murli, can you say a few words about the importance of contributing to this worthwhile fund?
Hare Krishna. I was just thinking of what could be the reasons why we should contribute to this project. Based on a little bit of thinking, I think there are 3 good reasons why we can contribute for this project. I'm told that to build a new temple in this area will take about $6 to $10 million to build a temple. 100% of us sitting here have not contributed for the building of the temple. Some earlier devotees have contributed for that temple, and we are enjoying the benefits of the temple now. So let us think about that. We have taken something from somebody else. Can we now give something for the future generation? Because we are enjoying the benefit of a temple. In other places, they are building a new temple and asking money for building a temple. But here we have a temple in a wonderful area, and we are enjoying the benefit of that. The benefit in terms of either prasadam, or able to do devotional service, or even coming and worshipping the deities. So we are enjoying the benefit. We are taking something from the temple. Can we give something back to the temple? That is the appeal which I want to make to everybody sitting here. There's another category of people, I would call them as those who are in the Grahastha ashram. They have children. The biggest fear we have about our children is that the culture outside is so frightening that we want to protect our children, we want to insulate them. These Grahasthas, when they give, they are giving not only for themselves, but they are giving for the children. And we are protecting the children's character by giving prasadam. So let us think about why we are giving. We are giving this for our own children. This is an investment for our children's character. So I want to appeal to those Grahasthas who should give generously. There's a third category of people whom I want to appeal. They are the enterprising devotees within the community. These enterprising devotees have benefited directly or indirectly by this congregation. They have businesses in various services. They are offering service businesses. It can be either catering or consultancy, or can be financial services, but these very congregation members are the customers for these people. Can they think a little more generously and give for this project? So if each of us can stretch a little more and give for this project, that figure there is only 300,000, which is not enough. So if we can re-look at what we have contributed and do something more, we will build a beautiful kitchen and express our gratitude for what we have already taken. A Vaishnava is known to be grateful, and let us stick to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Murli. Haribol.
I also wanted to touch on something that Ojasvi Prabhu said earlier, and just maybe this may clarify you and help you to contribute in, because you don't have to make your donation all at once. Right? As Ojasvi Prabhu was saying before, you can take advantage of this donation opportunity to donate in 3 separate tax years. And when was it again? Before the end of this tax year?
So we should look at this from a 3 financial year perspective. One, something before 30th of June this year. One, something before December next year, December this year. And then one, Janmashtami next year. So if we can do it like that, we can have 3 financial year benefits, and in that way, the kitchen fundraising can be expedited.
Yes, so in this way, you can budget your donation to say, you know, okay, if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to give $1,000, but you could actually give $1,000 3 times.
Correct.
Because it's once per 3 financial years.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, my daughter Haripriya and Balaram wants to give gift to Aniruddha Prabhu before I pledge. So if you can give me a minute.
Oh, that's so cute.
$3,000 before we make our target.
Before I pledge, Mother Prabhu, my daughter and Balaram, they want to give their piggy banks to Aniruddha Prabhu.
Wow! Any more going once?
I have Yadu Prabhu over the phone. He would like to pledge for $1,001.
Thank you. Haribol.
Yadu, Y-A-D-U, Yadu Prabhu.
1001.
Over here, this table.
Lynn and Morris 500.
Have we missed anybody?
Yes, somebody on the table over here.
Tatwik, $108.
Thank you. Yep.
On behalf of my father, Nilesh Desai, $500.
How much?
500.
Jai.
5,000. On behalf of my father, $5,000.
Thank you, Haribol. Wow.
I think we can reach $1 million today, Prabhu.
Govinda Darshan Das, $1,008.
There's no stopping this. It just keeps on going. Are we done? All right, Prabhu, you all deserve a wonderful plate of prasadam. So we're going to... Oh, Aniruddha Prabhu, would you like to say a few words? You're way beyond our expectations, mate. This is amazing.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
We'd like to announce the winners of the colouring in competition in the kids department. Benita, aged 6, Brinda, aged 8, Yashika, 9, Goranga, 9, and Dhruv, 8.
Wow.
So, well behaved in the colouring in department. I think we've exceeded our expectations. You know, when I saw the target of $800,000, I thought, oh boy, that's ridiculous. But it turns out that it wasn't, by Krishna's arrangement. I'd really deeply, from the bottom of my heart, like to thank all of you. This kitchen has been a source of anxiety for me for quite a few years now. And I really appreciate that you're helping us. We still have some very substantial donors to approach. A number of them who, well, a small number, but donors who could give significant amounts of money. So we're well on the way to being able to cover the cost of the kitchen. And so I think we can move ahead quite confidently now. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Bhakta Brinda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.